Hello, it's Dawn Michelle and welcome back to my channel. Today I am very excited to share with you a preview look at the second edition of the Ink Witch Tarot, which is currently funding on Kickstarter. So at the time I'm recording this, the Kickstarter is running from October 1st to October 31st, 2023, and I'll be sure to leave a link to it in the description box below. So just so you know going in, I'm a big fan of Eric's work and I love being able to support his creations, so this is probably going to be the per usual glowing review because the Ink Witch Tarot, the first edition, is a deck that I've had for quite some time. I absolutely adore, and I've done many videos featuring it. So today we're going to take a look at the second edition, and I'm going to compare it to the first edition just to see if there are any changes. I have already looked through this deck with my members, so I'm feeling like there's a few little things here and there. It does come in this gorgeous magnetic box, which we're going to talk about because like this box, y'all, is like super sexy. It's so cool. I love the feel of it. So the deck itself will come with a PDF, and then there's additional add-ons in the Kickstarter, including the book and the expansion packs that I'm going to be showing you here throughout this flip through. So let's go ahead and jump in because I really want to get to the comparison. But first, let's talk about this like box. Oh my goodness. It's like tactilely, this box is an experience in itself. And like y'all know me, I don't do boxes. Like I made a bag for my original Ink Witch tarot, which I love making bags for my decks too, but when they come in really nice, beautiful boxes, like I'm tempted to keep them in that. So this one is has the little print on the back. As per usual, whenever we have like prototype things, there might be slight changes that happen throughout the process of the Kickstarter as like stretch goals are made and things like that. So just be aware that what I hold in my hand, what I'm going to be sharing with you today, is basically a prototype. So this beautiful magnetic closure box, like look at the detail inside. There's a little ribbon to help you get your cards out. There's also included a little keyword reference, which is fantastic. Again, we'll take a look at that here in a moment, but you know me, like I gotta jump into the cards because I'm too excited. Okay, so real quick, I'll just talk about the cardstock. The backs are gorgeous. It's one of my favorite card backings. I just absolutely love the design. I think it's really fitting with the deck. The cardstock is a beautiful, like thin, flexible, but I can tell you from previous experience using the heck out of my first edition that it is very durable. It shuffles beautifully. It's got a kind of like satiny finish to it. It's not matte, it's not sticky. It's also not super glossy, which is fantastic. And this deck has the most beautiful limited color palette, which I am a sucker for in general. But let me tell you, it's like the interpretations in this deck that get me even more so than its beautiful aesthetics. So I have got my first edition. So let's do a little side-by-side comparison. From the get-go, the cardstock on this particular version, again, keeping in mind it's a prototype version, is maybe just the tiniest bit thinner than the first edition, and to my mind that's always a good thing because thinner means I can actually riffle it. And above all else, I want to be able to riffle my decks because they're tools. I need to be able to work with them. I don't see any huge shifts in the coloration other than the borders maybe on the first edition are a little bit more off-white, and the banner down here at the bottom feels a little bit more white. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent change, and it could just be like this particular printing, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the way it's gonna be in the final version. The setup looks like to be the same. We have the title at the bottom, and there is the number, which is usually the Roman numeral at the top in this deck, and it actually makes it really easy to put the deck back in order if you need. So just looking through here, let's look at our full design-wise. They're entirely the same. So our magician is the same, our backs are the same, which is fantastic. Love it. I'm gonna try to not, go too far into the weeds here. I really just want to do a comparison. I do have several videos on the Ink Witch if you're interested, so I'll try to keep focused. I tried to remember which cards were original to the deck. So here we have our original High Priestess with the chessboard, which I did get and I do enjoy, but Eric eventually did a replacement card. It's in the expansion pack of the new version, and I probably shouldn't have put it in mine, but this was the High Priestess I keep in my deck. We'll be seeing that one again, so I'm gonna just tuck it out of the way for the moment. So here is our Empress. And I'm trying to keep this this one in complete order because I do believe this is the base deck as you will receive if you don't add any additional add-ons to the Kickstarter. So I've tried to keep them in order and hopefully I have everything included. So here's our Empress. Again, the artwork is similar. The printing feels just a little bit lighter on the new version. Again, here's our Emperor, our Hierophant. I love the keys, love the Hierophant. So I do believe that this was the original Lovers that came in the deck. And you can definitely see that this one's got a bit more of a yellow tone. This one's got a bit more of a blue tone. That kind of yellow blue is threaded throughout the entire deck. So I don't think it really matters in terms of the coloration. Both feel very appropriate in the deck. But I just thought I'd point that out because it's definitely a noticeable difference when you put them side by side. If they weren't side by side, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell. So here's our alternate Lovers card, or one of our alternate Lovers cards. These ones look exactly the same. Again, alternate Lover cards. It looks like these ones are going to come in the deck, and then these ones that I have in here are the ones that I added into my first edition. And here's another alternate Lovers. I do love the animal, the inclusion of the animal cards, and I've worked with them quite a bit, but I do sometimes put the people-y cards back, which I know is unusual for me, but I do love the people-y cards in Eric's deck. I think they're done brilliantly. So here's our Chariot. So here's our Strength card. And our Hermit, you can see those are the same. Our Wheel, love this Wheel of Fortune card. I think it's brilliant. Here's our original Justice. I had one of the alternate Justice cards in my deck, so I've removed that. So we are just comparing apples to apples here. So here's our Hanged Man. Again, another brilliant card. Here's Death, which I absolutely love. I do like that this one is like a bit more saturated in the new version. Like the colors just are a little bit richer, a little bit brighter. And I think it's really beautiful. It's very noticeable here with the pomegranate, and I think that's really cool. But again, like one of my favorite Death cards. Here's Temperance, which again, I just think is brilliant. Here's our Devil. I do believe we have alternate Devils. And I think this was the original one, which I do really, really like. And then we have this additional Devil. Again, the animal ones are super cute. I love that for the Lovers and the Devil, and I love that they match. I think that's amazing. And I swap out which ones I have in my deck. Here's our Tower card, which again is the same. And this one feels more, a little bit brighter, a little bit more coloration to it. The purple feels a little bit richer, where here the purple's more muted. Like both are beautiful. Both are beautiful. Same thing here, we're getting more blue in this one, more purple in this one, but absolutely gorgeous. Here's our Sun card. Here's our Judgment card. This one you can definitely see, I think, hopefully it'll pick up on camera. I'll try to bring it a little closer, but you can definitely see that the artwork is sharper, more vivid in the new edition. I really like the bump up in the color in the new edition. So here's our World card. Again, same thing, where it just feels a little bit richer, a little bit deeper. I love that. The details pop out more. All right, so moving into our suit of wands. Wand out of the hat is fantastic. Again, I think you can just see that the colors are richer, a little bit deeper in the new edition, but the artwork seems to be the same. So that's cool, which is I'm good with, because I think that this deck is brilliant. I love the interpretations that Eric has of the tarot. Everything that he's used to depict the energy of the cards really resonates with how I read tarot. And I think that it sits in alignment enough with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith system that that's not going to hinder anybody, but it's open enough for people like me who don't necessarily read locked into that particular tradition or that particular system. A deck like this, where the artist is taking a little bit of liberties, it really gives me the opportunity to read in a way that is in alignment with how I want to experience tarot, and I really appreciate that. It's one of the reasons why I'm always singing the praises of Eric's deck and his work, because he does that, kind of walks that line between those two things really beautifully. Here's our wands, 9 of wands, which is beautiful. Our 10. Sorry, I sometimes tend to get into the weeds and forget what I'm doing because I get distracted by the artwork and all the thoughts that come to mind as I'm looking at it. So there's our page, our Knight of Wands. It took me a little while to come around to the understanding of this Knight of Wands, but like I actually really love it. It's kind of amazing. So here we have quite a change in the artwork in terms of what's coming for the Queen. And just gonna making a peek and make sure there's nothing underneath that. There are, I believe, alternate cards in the expansion deck, so we'll take a look at those here in a moment. But you can see here just with the base deck, we definitely have a different interpretation for the Queen of Wands. I love them both. I really do. I think they're both really cool. And here's our King of Wands. Again, totally different interpretation. It's interesting how we went with the more animal focused card in the Queen and the person focused card in the King, and then we had the reverse in this. The person for the Queen and the animal for the King. So that's really cool. One of the things that I love about like decks like this where you have like all these different expansions, you can really customize it and build it into a deck that like works the way you want it to work using imagery that you love. Like that's a lot of work for the creator to do. So like it's really, really appreciated when it happens. But I think it just lends such a cool aspect to the deck when you can really highly customize it in your own way. So here's our Ace of Cups, our 2. This one has changed, but I believe I saw this one in the expansion pack. But again, just comparing base deck to base deck, this was what we originally had for our 3 of Cups, and this is our new 3 of Cups. I think they're both beautiful. Both beautiful. Some of the new cards have a little bit thinner line work. It's a little bit more precise. You can see it here represented really well because this is essentially the same kind of energy, the same kind of card, but it's been redrawn in the new edition. And you can tell like the line work is just a little bit more precise. It's a little bit thinner. It's not to say that it's better in any way, shape, or form. It's just a little bit different. And it does make the colors feel like they're a bit richer. But again, same kind of card. I'm so glad this card hasn't changed because this is my absolute favorite card in the deck. And this was the card that completely sold me on the way that Eric views the tarot. Because this 5 of Cups with the empty fountain is just, it is so quintessential 5 of Cup energy for me that it just, I'm so glad to see it hasn't changed. that's my tangent on that. Same with the 6. Also, I love the richer, more rust color that we have going on here in this card versus the almost like coffee color. So it feels a little bit like coffee and tea, and I love that. Kind of actually gives them both a little bit different energy. So here's our 7 and our 8. Again, a little bit vibrant, more vibrant colors, which is fantastic. Our 9. So big change in our 10 here. Just making sure there's not another one. Here we see kind of like the table set, and here we see more of like a natural landscape where we have, maybe it looks like little monkeys bathing in a pond. I kind of adore this. I kind of adore it. There's just something about this imagery that just really speaks to me. I mean, this is a beautiful 10 of Cups. It embodies everything that the 10 of Cups is, but this there's just something extra in that particular 10 of Cups card. So here's our page, our Knight, our Queens. Again, I love the new colors. I was kind of like, I really love muted decks, but actually where the colors pop in the new edition is just like perfection, and I kind of love it. So here's our King. Moving into our Aces. 2 of Swords. I love this 2 of Swords card as well. Like it's just brilliant. I could say that about every card. I think every card is brilliant in this deck. This one, also brilliant. And our 5, I love. Every time I look through this deck, I'm just like, this kid. I say kid because like I'm old, right? This creator like has a beautiful mind. Sorry, singing his praises, but he has a beautiful mind, and I love the way that he expresses the tarot through his art. So our 9 is the same. Our 10. So our Page. Our Knight, my stacks are getting really high. Our Queen, I love this like Joan of Arc energy. It's amazing. Okay, so here's our King, and I'm gonna pull this one out because that was an extra card. So this was our original King of Swords. This is our new King of Swords. Funny that the new King of Swords is actually the alternate card that I keep in my deck. So that's pretty cool. Here's our Ace. Again, love the rich colors. It really just adds something to the artwork. It's beautiful. Our 3, our 4, which I also love, even though I don't read the 4 of Pentacles as like hoarding, like for whatever reason, this card with the dragon just completely works for me. Love it. Absolutely love this 5 of Pentacles too. Again, I just think it's brilliant. Here's our 6, our 7, our 8 of Pentacles, our 9, 10 of Pentacles. Big change here, just making sure. Again, there's not another one. Big change here. Definitely getting, I think, a little bit more of the Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation of this. So if you read Rider-Waite-Smith, I think that's a great addition. I think this one's really cool too. It does, and I might have mentioned this in the original like walkthrough, it does kind of give me like 7 of Pentacle vibes. But that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's like the 10 is the culmination, and I think that's really cool. Like she's harvesting now. I love that. So here's the Page of Pentacles, the Knight, super cute, our Queen. So this was our original King of Pentacles, I do believe, and this is our new one. Again, I'm trying to remember. And there is an additional witch card, which I think there might have been in the first edition. But sometimes I use like bonus cards as like bookmarks and stuff. So if there was, my apologies, because I don't know where it went. It's probably tucked in a book somewhere. Okay, so the extra, I'm just trying to like, for those who are curious. So the multiple lovers cards were, I believe, part of the expansion. Devil cards were part of the expansion. Is that the only thing? Okay, so I think that was the only, I think this was the expansion pack for the original version. So I'll keep those out so that we can look and see if anything's changed there. I'm gonna try to keep everything like separate. So, but that's a base comparison of the 2 decks. All right, let's see if I can get smart about this. So over here we have the cards from the first expansion, and over here we have the cards from the second expansion. Try to keep those little titles up so I can see them. And in the center, I'm going to put the card that comes with the base deck. So all of our versions of the High Priestess, what comes with the deck, this is the High Priestess that comes in the first expansion, and the High Priestess renamed as the Seer in the second expansion. So there's nothing in the first expansion that relates to the Empress, so I'm just gonna pull from the second expansion. Here's our card that comes with the deck and our new cultivation card that comes in the second. And again, same with the Emperor. Here's our original, and here's the new card in the second expansion. And the next change we have is our original Hierophant with the Hierophant that is available in the second expansion, renamed to Teacher with different artwork. So in the base deck, you actually just get all 4 of the Lovers cards as well as all 4 of the Devil cards. Maybe we'll take a look at those in their own little grouping just so we can see how they relate to each other. That was an expansion originally, and it looks like it's coming in the base deck this time. So next we have our Justice. Here's our original Justice in the center and the alternate Justice available through the first expansion. Okay, next we have the Hanged Man, which in the second expansion version has been redesigned and renamed to the Hanged One. These are going to be tough calls as to what I'm going to put in my deck, just saying. So next we have our original tower, and here's the new tower that's included in the first expansion. Again, I really love this original tower, but like the art is so stunning on this one that I might just have to go with that one. Okay, so now we're going to be doing a little bit of back and forth between them. So here is the Knight of Wands originally and the new Knight of Wands available in the first expansion. So here we have our new Queen of Wands, which is available in the base deck. In the first expansion, you can get the old Queen of Wands, which was the original in the first edition, or in the second expansion, we have the renamed Queen of Wands with the new artwork, and where Queen has been renamed to Guardian. So again, similar with our Queen, we have all the different versions of the King here. This is the one that comes in the base deck now. This is the old version, which you can still get in the first expansion, and the new version retitled to Sovereign in the second expansion. So here's our new 3 of Cups that comes in the deck, and again, you can get that original 3 of Cups in the first expansion. Same with the Four of Cups here. We have the new version in the deck and the old version available through the expansion pack. And again, same with our 10. Here's our new 10 that's available in the base deck and the original 10 available in the first expansion. So moving on to our Queen of Cups, we have our original Queen of Cups in the base deck and then the updated Queen of Cups retitled to Guardian of Cups in the second expansion. Then we also have our original King of Cups, same artwork in the base deck. The title has been changed to Sovereign. So moving on to our Queen of Swords, here's our original Queen, and then we have our new Guardian of Swords in the second expansion with the new artwork. So here's our King of Swords. This is the one that comes in the base deck. And then in our first expansion, we have the original card. And in the second expansion, we have the reimagined card with new artwork and retitled to Sovereign. So here we have the Seven of Pentacles that's currently available in the deck. And here's the alternate version from the first expansion with a little bit different artwork. So this time we have for our 10 of Pentacles, the new card is in the base deck and the old card is in the first expansion pack. And probably by far the hardest decision I'm gonna have to make in determining what cards I want in my deck, we have the Queen of Pentacles here in the base deck, which is the original card, but we have an alternate version in the first expansion, which I absolutely love. And then we also have an alternate version with the renamed title to Guardian of Pentacles in the second expansion. Again, I absolutely love the artwork. Y'all know Queen of Pentacles is my card, and having to try to choose between these is going to be a difficult decision. And last, we have our King of Pentacles. This is the card that's currently in the deck. You have access to the old card here in the first expansion, and then access to the new artwork with the changed title here in the second expansion. Okay, and even though I think I've done this in previous videos, I'm gonna show you the 4 different versions of the Lovers Devil pairings because I love that they are match set. I think that that is amazing. So here is our original Lovers and Devil, another Lover and Devil combination. Our Lovers and Devils with the birds and cats, which is the one that I've had in most recently. I think that they're adorable. And again, another animal-based Lovers and Devil, this time with the deer and the snake as well. Shall we play? Yes, let's play. What cards am I gonna keep in the deck? Because that's just fun. And I just want to. So with the 2 expansion packs, like you get quite a few cards to choose from. So you can really highly customize this deck between these 2 expansion packs and the base edition. I'm gonna go through and let's just pick. Let's pick what I'm gonna use. Let's start with the Devil Lover combo. I think I'm gonna go with the back to the originals for a while. I had the cats, I had these. I'm missing there they are, the stags. But there's just something about the originals that I just absolutely love. So I think those are gonna be my Lovers and Devils that I'm gonna put in there. Let's do this. This is the deck that I'm building. This is the extra cards, and this is the current deck that I'm working from. So original High Priestess back in here. I did put my first edition away, right? Yes. Make sure I'm working with the second. I love, where'd she go? This one. This one's my favorite. So it's the one I had in previous. It's the one I'm going to put back in. I did it again. That's not what I wanted to do. It's kind of hard to do on camera because I'm trying to talk my way through my process, and that means that there's almost a disconnect between my brain and my hands. Anyway, I love this High Priestess. It was the original alternate High Priestess, and I do love that it says High Priestess, so I'm gonna leave her in there. I love the original Emperor and Empress. I'm good with those titles too, so I'm gonna keep those. Take the 2 alternate cards out. All right. So now we're at the point where we're making decisions. I love this teacher card. I mean, they both have keys. This one has a little bit more of a traditional feel. The thing I love about this one is it has it's almost like stars in the background. It has an almost cosmic knowledge feel. So I think I'm gonna go with that one for a while. These are important decisions, right? Important decisions. Okay, so all of these cards are good. Then for Justice, we had these 2 cards. This is the one, the alternate that I had in my deck originally. And I think, just because I think the artwork is so beautiful, I think I'm gonna put that one back in. Okay, another decision time. I love the Odin card. I really, really do. But I'm kind of excited to work with this energy for the Hanged one for a while, so I'm going to put the new one in. I'm going to have to make sure I actually have a complete deck by the end of this, right? So Temperance is good. Again, same with the Towers. I love this Tower card, but I'm going to work with this one for a while, just, you know, a little bit shift of the energy, which is really cool. I mean, this card is beautiful. It really, really is. But I feel like this card I've done work with, and I've really like come around to loving this interpretation for the Knight of Wands. So as beautiful as this is with the peacock and the artwork is gorgeous, I think I am going to keep the original in. Queen of Wands. Okay, so we have 3. Now we're getting into the quartz where we have 3. And then I do kind of feel like I have to make a decision. So if I'm going to go with any of the retitled ones, I feel like I need to switch the kings and queens out completely. These are like really important decisions, right? So I need to think about that. So I'm gonna pull all the quartz out. Just having tarot card fun here is really what I'm doing. Just lots of tarot card fun. Which 3 I want to include. I mean, they really have the same kind of energy to them, but I think I kind of like this one. And part of the reason is because I want to pull in, like, as much as I love that muted brown beigey color palette that we have going on, I do like that some of the cards have that kind of blue purple energy to them. So I'm going to put the new one in, I think. Again, I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of fond, now that I said that, like, now that I said that, decisions. Like, I do really love the originals. I'm feeling like I have more originals, so maybe I'll just keep the originals in. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And the beautiful thing is I can change my mind later. Okay, so here's our 10, and I definitely, like, I like this 10 of Cups, but I definitely want the new one because it's just, I don't know, something about it. It's super cute. All right, and our 7, another hard decision, 7 of Pentacles. I like them both. I really, really do. I think I'm gonna lean more towards this one because, like I was saying before, like adding a little bit more of that blue into my deck. Hard decision. I really like both of them. I think I'm gonna stick with this one, which I think is the original, because I just really like it. It definitely feels like the culmination of all of the like growth that you've planted through the Pentacles. Like, I mean, you get that through this big tree thing too, but in this card, like, we like literally see her harvesting, and I just kind of love that. All right, so I'm gonna pull my 3 Queen of Wands out here and see like which one I like better. I think I really like the Queen of Wands better. Let's do our Queen of Cups. So that's the original. I missed a Guardian of Cups. There she is, Guardian of Cups. Man, I really like this, but I'm leaning more into the, okay, so let's do this. Like, these are important decisions, right? I like this Queen of Wands, and I like this Guardian of Cups. But see, now here's my thing, because now I have Guardians and Queens, and I don't want both in my deck. So here we're with the Guardian of Swords. I really love the Angel. Really love the Angel. Okay, and the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like I'm gonna end up with all Guardians. Okay, so I like that better. So it was really just the Wands, and it's not that I mind the Guardian of Wands. So if I do all Guardians, then let's see how I feel about the Sovereigns versus the Kings. I also like the title of Guardians and Sovereigns. Like, I wasn't really sure. Like, this is fine because if I'm gonna go with a king, it's gonna be one of those two. Where's my Sovereign of Cups? Okay, so the artwork's the same in the cups, so it doesn't matter. And the artwork's the same in the Pentacles. Yes? Yes, for the new one. All right, so now we're down to just our swords. Such decisions. Okay, I went with Guardians, so maybe I will go with Sovereigns. Where's my swords? Okay, I need to make sure they make a matching pair. So yes, those feel like a pair together. Good with that. Here's our cups. So if we go with Guardian of Cups and Sovereign of Cups, the cup and the shell, I mean, I can get on board with that. Here's the Guardian of Pentacles, the Sovereign of Pentacles. I'm good with that. I guess we're going Sovereign. Guardian of Wands, and Sovereign of Wands. All right, well, since I like the majority of the Guardians better, and I don't mind the Sovereign cards, I don't mind it being retitled as Sovereign, I guess that's what we're going with. Guardians and Sovereigns. Okay. This is so much fun. So let's go ahead, now that we've been here like forever and a day, let's give it a shuffle, even though like all these decks shuffle so beautifully. Like it riffles beautifully, it overhands beautifully, unless you like throw cards around ridiculously like I'm doing. Need to slow my roll. All right, let's do a little 3-card reading just for fun. So we get 6 of Swords, the World, and the 8 of Wands. How beautiful is that? Oh, I love this deck. Love it. Okay, I'm real happy with the changes that have been made in the 2nd edition. I think the coloration is beautiful. I like that we have the expansion pack so we can really, you know, customize it to our own. I, at this point now, have no idea what came from what expansion pack or what was original, but now I have this video for reference. So if I need to go back and look, I can. Let's talk really quickly about the book. It did come with this little keyword printout in the box, which is fantastic. This is the 2nd edition of the Ink Witch Companion Guide. So we have a beautiful introduction. I do love that he mentions taking some time to look through the deck before diving into the book. I agree with that. I love having the opportunity to kind of create your own sort of connection to the cards outside of what the creator might say. Like I always say the same, like if take my work and do with it what you want, right? It's once it's in your hands, it's yours. So I love that there's kind of that sort of energy to it as well. There's a bunch about how the deck is structured. I mean, if you are completely new to tarot, this is actually a wonderful little guide. I've read the first one. I've been looking through this one a little bit. He's got some great spreads in here. Like again, really fundamental, foundational, a couple that are specific to cards. We have Persephone's Pomegranate Seeds, Odin's Awakening. That makes me want to put that card back in the deck. The Scales of Anubis, the Ink Witch's Guidance. I mean, I love when creators make their own spreads. Like, I think that's fantastic. He does talk about using it with different Oracle decks, which is fantastic. I will give you a quick little peek at the Oracle decks. I have videos on his other decks as well. Like this, perfect. I recommend not to hang too tightly onto this guide. Yes, same. Guidebooks are wonderful to help us as a jumping off point, but like don't be limited by them. So for the cards, we have a little picture, we have upright and reversed, we have a good deal of information. He does talk about what is being depicted in the cards as well, which is amazing. I love that. We have alternate versions in the deck. Let's pop over to the Minor Arcana. Again, we have 2 pages of information per card, which is fantastic. Talks about the upright and the reverse, and again, I love that he talks about what it is we are seeing in the cards and what it means. I love that we have all the different cards in here, so depending on, you know, which one you've got in, it might change a little bit of the way that you interpret the cards, and Eric has definitely mentioned that in the guidebook, which is fantastic. Okay, so now I've got my beautifully personalized, customized 2nd edition of the Ink Witch Tarot ready to go. I do want to just give a quick mention to Eric's other 2 decks in case you haven't seen them. Eric also has an Oracle deck called the Endless Oracle. I've done full videos on this deck. I love it. It works beautifully for some very specific readings that I do. I'll leave a link to the actual videos talking about these decks more in detail, but they do pair beautifully with the Ink Witch Tarot. So the Endless Oracle, I'll give you just a quick flip through of the cards. We have the Field, the Procession, the Gathering Clouds. I don't want to go too far into detail with these because again, I have full walkthroughs of these decks on my channel. And this one is like, it's amazing. It's got such a unique energy to it. I use it in very specific readings. It works phenomenally with pip decks. One of my favorite decks to pair this with is the Skyrim Tarot, which it also exists in the same color palette, but it really just does something to bring out really deep, beautiful messages out of a pip deck. And I've talked about working with oracles in that way many, many times on my channel, but this deck in particular works really well for drawing out those deeper meanings and those deeper layers from a pip deck. So yeah, and the artwork is like, it's stunning. Like Eric's an amazing artist. Also, when you put the deck together, I didn't show it because again, I showed it in another video, but it creates a panorama, which is amazing. So Eric also has the paper oracle, which is a Lenormand deck, and it's a beautiful, beautiful Lenormand. Here's the backs. Again, pairs beautifully with all of the decks that we've looked at. But like, look at this rich, vivid color. It's gorgeous. I love this deck. It's one of my favorite Lenormand decks. The moon, I mean, isn't it just stunning? I think there's many alternate cards in this deck as well as additional cards. So yeah, it's a fantastic Lenormand. I do not keep many Lenormands anymore, and there's very few that I actually use, but mine and Eric's is pretty much like, those are the main Lenormands that I personally use. This deck is currently funding on Kickstarter, so definitely if you are interested, go check that out. There will be a link below. You can purchase some additional add-ons, you know, those expansion packs that I showed you so that you can build your own deck like I did. So much fun. Highly recommend it. Probably forgot to disclaimer this video from the get-go, but this was sent to me for review and to share with you today. Sorry for the late disclaimer on that, but there you go. Alrighty, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Ink Witch Tarot 2nd edition and hanging out with me while I picked the cards that I wanted to put in my Little Perfect Ink Witch deck. As always, you'll find links for everything I've shown here in the description box of this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon.